What's up, everyone? It's been a minute, but we're back. Been busy in the bow shop getting everyone else ready for archery season. So now we're here. The season opened up yesterday here in PA, so today I'm doing a once over on my bow, making sure everything's good. I'm shooting my broadheads a little late, but for the first time today, to hope to get a few sits in this week when the time allows. So here we go. Okay, so I am shooting these Magnus Stinger broadheads, 100 grains. I've shot these forever. Some people pick on me because I'm shooting a very large fixed head. However, all of the deer that I shot, a black bear in Canada, I have had great luck with these. They've never failed me. So today I'm going to shoot 2 of my field points and 2 broadheads back to back because it is a fixed head, so I am adding steerage on the front of that arrow. So I just want to make sure that they're close enough, or if we get lucky, they fly exactly the same. We are going to start at 20 yards. I'm going to shoot 2 field points back to back and then 2 broadheads to compare. Alright, so my field points are a little low, but before I make any adjustments, I'm going to shoot my broadheads just to see how that goes. Well, that was good. Alright, so I was low with my field points, but my broadhead hit middle, so I'm going to shoot the dot below just so that I don't damage an arrow or broadhead, and make sure that it's not just luck and that it is consistent. So that one's a little bit right. My height's good, so I'm gonna go back to 30 and then also shoot 40. I am running a Black Gold 3-pin slider, and the reason I'm running this, I did have an Excel landslide on my bow before, as you guys saw in the last video, but I went back to this sight just because it's what I shot for years. It's what I'm used to, and I do like having my 3 pins because very rarely when I am deer hunting will I shoot past 40 yards. So what I do is I sight in 20, 30, and 40, and then I will just pin gap if it's between 2 distances. And that for me is what I know. I've done it for years. It's what I'm comfortable with. And then just in case, on the off chance that I ever for some reason would shoot 50 yards in the woods, I am running a sight tape too, and I use my top pin as my floater. But generally just stick with that 20, 30, and 40. So I'm going to go pull those, and then we're going to shoot 30. Okay, so my field points were a little low. These are my field points. First shot with the broadhead was pretty perfect. Second shot was a little bit right, but I am dealing with my pins glaring just a little bit from it being so bright outside, so I'm not worrying about that, and I just want to go shoot at a distance.
Alright.
We need a bloopers video. Okay, so we relocated ourselves here because the sun was in my face and I couldn't see. So now, same thing, I'm going to shoot 30 yards, 2 field heads, 2 field points, 2 broadheads, and make sure all is kosher. Alright, so field points are money. time when I don't have something tiny to aim at, so aiming at what feels to be a big black dot is a little bit hard for my brain. But my field points look good. My first broadhead is decent, just a little bit left. I'm pretty sure we're just not counting that one. That was just me. But this is okay. We'll see what they do at 40. Hopefully all is well. So we moved ourselves back here to 40. Same thing, 2 field points, 2 broadheads. Broad point time. Okay, so 2 field points, first broadhead shots, the last shot. So this to me is good. I do think I don't put as much time behind my hunting bow as I probably should, and this week I have been shooting, trying to get a head start on indoor season, so I've been shooting my target bow a lot. So today is kind of like finalizing the hunting bow and shooting it for the first time in a hot minute. So this to me, this is good. Obviously, like I said before, you have to check fixed heads because they are gonna fly a little bit differently because there is more on the front of that arrow than a field point. So my right and left arrows, I'm not too concerned about because I think mainly maybe the reason is I'm not 100% behind my hunting bow at the moment. So definitely gonna put more arrows behind it before I go into the woods. But I'm gonna say that probably the forgiveness is just not as high with a broadhead as my field point, and so that probably is just me. But for the most part, it seems that my broadheads are good. They are consistent with my field points, which is great because I don't like ever having to detune, move my rest, whatever, to get broadheads to fly. So my goal is always, if my broadheads, being that I shoot a fixed head, don't fly the same as my field point, I will either play with my arrow setup, play with my broadhead, or just screw it and go to mechanicals. However, I don't want to do that because I've had great luck with these. I'm super confident with the Magnus Stingers. So this to me is good. I do want to go check 50. I will probably never take a shot at 50 yards. At a deer, probably will never have to. But just an added confidence booster that the arrows are good, my sight tape's good, I'm good, broadheads are good, because I put a lot more time and heart and thought into my hunting bow because I am shooting at animals, and I don't want to go halfway with something when there is a living thing involved. Was that good? So, moved back to 50 yards. Like I said before, my top pin is my floater. I do have a sight tape. Not 100% confident in this sight tape, but I want to make sure that 50 is somewhat close and I'm not going to waylay one out in the air. But being that 50 is not a critical distance for me in the deer stand, we're just going to shoot 1 field point, 1 broadhead. And the only goal here is to just make sure I'm somewhat close and my field point and broadhead are similar. The true test.
Cut the camera.
Holy. Okay, well, the goal was met. So, like I said, this sight tape was kind of roughly put on, a rough guess. didn't really put a ton of time and thought into it. But the main purpose was to make sure my arrow flight's good, and that even at 50, my broadhead and my field point are somewhat close, and they are. They're both a little bit low, a little bit to the left, which I was consistently a hair to the left with my broadheads, which for me, the way I would go about this would be I would give a little bit of left adjustment in my sight and know that my broadheads are on, my field points might hit a little right, but I would much rather, as long as, which I did this not on camera, my arrows spin good with broadheads, and I see that my arrow flight is good, which it seems to be good. That's really all I care about, and as long as they're not a foot or inches off, I call it good. I sight in for my broadheads. Again, I don't get a ton of time to put into my hunting bow, so it's hard for me to want to experiment with different things, and I am so confident with these broadheads that they seem to be good, and I'm just going to run them this year. I do have a hunt planned for the end of the month. I'm going to Ohio, so my goal is hopefully to get some sits in before that, hopefully get a couple shots at does, just to make sure that like I'm good, because I don't want my first time shooting my hunting bow this year to be on a big buck in Ohio. And so that's the goal. Everything seems to be good. Again, like I said, I'm going to put more time into this before I go sit, just to be 100% confident in myself and my bow. Like I said, like I don't get a ton of time to shoot my hunting bow, and being that this time of year, it's like I work in a bow shop, so it's super busy trying to get a head start on indoors so that I'm not scrambling last minute come January or even December, and we have a bunch of local shoots before then. So like I said, a lot of more time needs to be put in the next 48, 72 hours shooting my hunting bow, and then hopefully we'll get out this week and I'll get some content for you all in the woods. So now we're gonna go pull those and then maybe test out sitting in a saddle for the first time. Okay, this is the first time I am trying out a saddle. Hopefully we don't die. Let's go hang in a tree. We need the bow. I gotta hit the gym. Okay, so now me. Alright, so this is my first time ever actually in the woods trying to get up in a saddle. So here we are. I'm going to shoot my first ever arrow out of it. So far, so good. It needs some practice and maybe to buy my own saddle. But we're going to shoot an arrow. Don't judge.
Ready?
You laughing at me?
No, but.
Ooh, that one was better. And that felt manageable to me, but imagine if I had a Alrighty, so thank you for watching today's video. Like I said, we're gonna put some time into the hunting bow. We're gonna get some practice in, and hopefully either tomorrow or sometime throughout the week we get a sit in. But thank you again. Maybe we'll buy a saddle and you'll get some saddle content. If you liked this video, hit subscribe, and we will be back soon with hopefully some hunting content, maybe some dead animal content. But thank you again. Subscribe. We'll see you next time.